Okay, what happens when you trade a big house for a simpler, smaller home? For many seniors, this decision has been nothing short of transformative. Today, we'll share the inspiring stories of people who downsized later in life and gained so much more than they ever imagined. Whether it's more financial freedom, closer connections with family, or the chance to pursue hobbies and travel, downsizing often opens doors to new opportunities. Let's meet some incredible people who took this leap and made it work for them. Okay, before we get into our three success stories that we'll be covering today, I'd like to take a quick minute to talk about the benefits of downsizing. Downsizing doesn't just free up space, it frees up your life. Here are some of the biggest benefits seniors experience when they choose to downsize. First, reduce expenses like property taxes and utility bills. Next, less maintenance, which means more free time. Additionally, the chance to start fresh and create a home that reflects who you are today. And most importantly, a chance to focus on relationships and experiences instead of possessions. Okay, our first success story is going to be Pat and Ron. Pat and Ron, both in their early 70s, had been living in their suburban home for 35 years. It was the perfect place to raise their three kids, but after the children moved out, they found themselves with more space than they knew what to do with. The yard alone took hours to maintain every weekend. Inside, there were rooms that hadn't been entered in months. They started to feel tied down by the constant upkeep.
It wasn't easy at first. We'd spent decades building memories in that house, but one day we realized the house was holding us back. We were spending so much time and energy taking care of it instead of enjoying our retirement.
They sold their five-bedroom home and moved into a sleek two-bedroom condo in a vibrant downtown area. It was a big change, but one they embraced wholeheartedly. Now, Pat and Ron spend their time visiting art exhibits, trying new restaurants, and traveling. With no yard work or house maintenance to worry about, they've been able to take 2 international trips in the past year alone.
We don't miss the house. We gained our freedom back. Downsizing wasn't about losing space. It was about gaining the life we'd always dreamed of.
All right, for our second success story, we're going to talk about Barbara, a retired teacher in her late 60s that had lived in her family home for over 30 years. It was filled with memories of her late husband and the years she'd spent raising her 2 sons. Every time something broke, a leaky faucet, a roof repair, it felt like a mountain she couldn't climb. And though she wanted to see her grandkids more, the distance and her busy schedule of upkeep often got in the way.
I was scared to leave. That house held so many memories. But I kept thinking, what do I really want my life to look like? And the answer was simple. I wanted to be closer to my family.
Barbara sold her home and moved to a charming townhouse just 10 minutes from her daughter's family. The new space was modern, easy to maintain, and gave her the perfect mix of independence and connection. Barbara now spends her Sundays hosting family dinners, where her grandkids love gathering around her cozy dining table. She's even joined a local yoga group and started taking pottery classes, a passion she'd never had time for before. Okay, our third and final story is Joe and Margaret, both retired engineers in their late 60s who had lived in a quiet rural home for most of their marriage. They loved the peaceful surroundings, but found themselves feeling increasingly isolated after retiring. Their nearest neighbor was a half a mile away, and visiting friends required long car rides. The tipping point came one winter when Joe slipped on an icy driveway when shoveling snow. The accident made them realize how vulnerable they were living so far from medical services and support.
After that fall, we started thinking, what happens if one of us really needs help? We wanted to find a place where we felt secure and connected.
They sold their rural property and moved into a senior living community, offered shared amenities like a fitness center, a pool, and weekly social events. In their new home, Joe and Margaret made dozens of friends. Joe plays pickleball twice a week, while Margaret volunteers at the community garden. And with on-site healthcare, they feel safer knowing help is always nearby.
Moving here was the best decision we've ever made. We don't feel isolated anymore. Instead, we're part of a community that feels like family.
Okay, well, that wraps it up. I hope everyone enjoyed these 3 inspiring stories of seniors who made the leap into downsizing for a more transformative, amazing life. What about you? Have you downsized or thought about it? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear how it's impacted your life. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about living your best life at every stage. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.